Well, what an atmosphere in Nashville on Saturday. Vols did what they were supposed to do. A 28-point favorite over Virginia. Joe Milton looking good. No interceptions on the day. The running game, goodness gracious, the stable of running backs is full in Big Orange Country. Vols win at 49-13 over Virginia. Now they turn their attention to another preseason game before conference play starts. We'll talk about that and much more next on the Volunteer Club Locker Room, powered by Spyre Sports. This is the Players Show. Yeah, what an atmosphere on Saturday in Nashville. Mark Packer along with Chris Brown, Jason Swain down there. Swain, you were on the sideline. I'll start with you. You were working hard for the Vol Network on the radio. It was hot. It was electric. It was a lot of fun.
It was definitely hot, for sure.
Okay, was it electric and fun? Or just,
it was fun.
You just remember the hot?
It was definitely fun. I think in the second half, when the defense started to really clamp down, the offense came alive. It was really, really fun. Offensively, I think a lot of people were surprised that Tennessee didn't have 100 points in the first half. Because we were so used to the offense getting into the end zone, especially early in games. But it's good to have some adversity that you have to fight through. Tennessee did a good job of doing that in the second half.
You know, Chris, we all want to talk about offense with Heupel's teams, but boy, defensively, they look like a really good defensive team.
You know, it was nice to see. The guys stepped up and played. The defensive front got pressure. We didn't have to bring a lot of pressure to get pressure on the quarterback. So guys are making sacks. Guys are doing a lot of different things that we hadn't seen in a while, right? So it's speaking to our depth. It's speaking to what we have going on. So it was really good to see the defensive front get a lot of pressure and not have to do a lot of stuff in this first game. So now we can take this, go on to the next game. Got a lot of good tape to watch. But I think these guys are ready to play, and I think it showed.
You know what feels good is when you hear about guys, what they can be as freshmen. We heard about James Pierce, you know, 5-star player. He can be a really good player for us. And in the past, we've heard that about players that they not show up. Well, second season for James Pierce, first game, he's unblockable. Just took over the game, and that's what we want to see.
Yeah, I mean, watching him on film, it was literally electric watching him come off the edge. And then you see Tyler Barron as well. It was nice to see Tyler kind of get in there and make a couple plays. Been around for a while, Knoxville kid. So came in, played well, but those guys got a lot of pressure. And it was good to see just people pushing and pushing and pushing and kind of making, I mean, they were gang tackling, man. Like, those guys were flying around to the football.
You know, linebacker, for me, Keenan Peely jumped out and grabbed me. Transfer from BYU, 2-year captain there for the Cougars. He comes to Tennessee. He tries to prove that he's a leader quietly. And then you look next to him and you see Aaron Beasley. And you're like, they're full there too.
Yeah, two guys that they're leaders. You know, they're professionals. Even though I guess they're amateurs right now, but they carry themselves like
easy. That's a whole show for a whole other day, man.
Can't on top of that, do we? But those guys carry themselves like professionals, and so they're athletic. I know Coach Heupel was a little surprised, in a good way, how explosive athletic Peely was when they first got him. They knew he was a good leader, knew he was really productive, but the explosiveness is something that they were pleasantly surprised about.
Yeah, I think that kind of speaks to our guys. Again, the transfer portal was huge for us this offseason, right? You're bringing in Keenan Peely. Peely standing next to Beasley. I mean, you could literally see those guys communicating out there. They're literally leading our team, right? And so we had a lot of young guys. We brought in a lot of recruits. We have a lot of young guys behind these guys who are getting to watch some guys that have played a lot of football. I mean, Keenan Peely's played a lot of football at BYU. He was a captain there, so now he's coming here and it's kind of transitioning, and people want to be here. People want to be a part of it, and it was good to see him come and just kind of fit in seamlessly.
You talk about the secondary. You know, a week ago we had Warren Burrell and Kamal Haddon who were out here, and then you sit there and you talk about, you know, we're Slaughter. We're all these guys. There's so many guys in the secondary. And to your point, Chris, is that the story of where the program is now, Jason, is just depth everywhere?
Well, it's year 3. I mean, it's year 3, so you're trying to get to that point where when you have an injury or when you have someone that you can't rely on, you can go to the stable and get someone that can go in, and the drop-off is not too significant. And so you see that with the defensive line. You see that with the running back group, with the wide receiver group. Heupel needs another year or so to get it all throughout the team at every position, but you certainly see the depth show up in a big way right now.
You know, you notice that year 1, if someone got hurt or we had something happen at a position, it was a huge drop-off. Now you're seeing guys, Dylan played his butt off yesterday. But again, you had 2 guys returning from last year.
Talking Dylan Samson, who's in studio. He'll join us in a few minutes.
100%. He played well, right? So you had guys there that were there last year who we were talking about in the backfield. Dylan is a perfect example of being ready, having the perfect opportunity to come and play. And boy, he showed out yesterday.
Yeah, last year they go out and sign Lynn J. Dixon from the transfer portal late because they had to. The numbers were that slim. This year, 5 guys in yesterday's game played. They had 2 true freshmen. You had a sophomore who had 4 touchdowns, and then you had the 2 older guys. So the depth at running back changed night and day from last year.
Yeah, we're not even talking about the receivers yet and the depth they have there. So.
By the way, I do want to have a little fun right now, and we had kind of a blindside moment a little bit. We were over on the sideline. You know, Samson scored another one of his 78 touchdowns in the game, and then this happens. Okay, here he comes, and Reese Van Hampton, who's the sports director here at WATE in Knoxville, that happened.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so what's going on here?
So. Reese, you gotta watch out for the option. I mean, John Campbell, oh my gosh.
Is that Michael Oher?
I think, wow, Swain.
So it reminded us of this. So, I mean, we had to look back at this and see the comparison. It's a number 74 who's making a name for himself, whether we legitimately believe that the movie was legitimate or not. There's been a whole lot of talk about that lately. But it literally reminded you of that. Somebody needed to go get on the bus.
He walked them like 100 yards. In that clip. We know that's not real, but what we saw yesterday
was real.
I mean, that was about 25, 30 yards.
Here he comes. Boom. But the camera's okay, by the way. And I was standing right next to Reese, and so when Reese got knocked over, the camera's on the ground, and he stands up and he looks at me and he like shakes his head like one of those, you know, Popeye and Lucy things where Popeye just got hit by Brutus or something. And he looks and he just goes, "Dude, am I bleeding? That hurt."
Was he bleeding?
No, he wasn't bleeding. He was just, yeah. I got hit so hard. And you take for granted how hard those guys hit until you get hit when you're like us out there.
Well, I mean, he didn't have any pads on.
But there was the fire. What I think I'm getting at in this on a serious note is these guys have a fire in them we haven't seen in a while.
So offensive lineman, that's something that's playing nasty. That's playing through the whistle. I mean, that's what you want to see.
Through the whistle to the tunnel.
Well, call it what you want, but the echo of the whistle, as they used to call it back
right.
when we played, right? So that's what you want. You have guys that are truly just grinding and they're pushing. They want to finish people as opposed to finish is the big thing.
By the way, I see a running back over there that scored 4 touchdowns. He's shaking his head with a grin on his face because he knows the reason he got in the end zone 4 times is because of plays like that. We're going to talk about the offense. We'll get into that next. We'll also visit with the Player of the Week on the Volunteer Club Locker Room, powered by Spyre Sports. This is the Player Show.
The Volunteer Club Locker Room is brought to you by the Volunteer Club. Real Vol fans are members of the Volunteer Club. Food City, Exterior Home Solutions, Lincoln Memorial University, Glass Doctor, and Garza Law.
Attention shoppers, don't forget to ask our certified butchers for great recipe tips.
This is an authentic butcher shop, where meat is hand-cut in-store, beef is ground fresh daily, and expert advice from a certified butcher is always free of charge.
Free advice? That's what I call value. The quality I crave, the value I count on.
Nobody does food like Food City.
At LMU, every door is open. Each can help me build my future exactly how I imagine it. Let's check those specs, guys. And lead to a career where I'll have an impact. As a nurse. How are you feeling today? A social worker.
I guess I started when I was younger.
Or an executive of a multinational company. Take a look at the third quarter. I know LMU will prepare me for a career where I'll make my mark. That's a cut. Because whatever door I walk into, there's a future for me.
Exterior Home Solutions will make one family's dream come true.
Do you know a family in need of a new roof?
Maybe it's leaking or needs repaired.
Whatever the needs may be, Exterior Home Solutions is going to give one lucky family an exterior home makeover.
To nominate a family that you think is deserving, simply go to the website at exteriorhomesolutions.com/makeover, and you can make your nomination there.
Exterior Home Solutions wants to give the gift of home to one lucky family.
Reach for the power with Dynabody Fitness. New Dynabody equipment is manufactured right here in Tennessee and shipped all over the country. Custom built, rugged, and guaranteed for life. Visit Dynabody.com and experience the difference.
I'm Coach Josh Heupel with Tyler and Will from the Sports Animal.
For UT Info in the afternoon, no one does it like 99.1.
From Josh and Swain through Tyler and Will, you're blanketed in orange.
No one covers the Vols like 99.1, the Sports Animal.
Everything that we highlight this week is going to be Dylan Sampson. I mean, because literally every time. And give Joe credit here, by the way, the Garza Law Firm Play of the Week here, in that in the past you felt like maybe he would have forced it, but the moxie, the maturity to just look out and say, hey, let him go score.
Yeah, I mean, he was taking check downs, so it was nice. It was nice to see him kind of passing the ball around, kind of see him just not overthrowing the ball, seeing guys that were open, dinging it down, taking the check downs. And again, when you got multiple guys coming out of the backfield and you have multiple weapons, it makes it a lot easier to get the ball to those guys.
Yeah, sometimes throwing the ball to the running back who's swinging out of the backfield is not the easiest thing to do. Joe did a really good job of throwing it to Dylan's upfield shoulder, allowing him to catch it in stride, even though he was right there by the end zone. But if he throws it to the back shoulder, he has a turnaround, and that gives the defender no time to come make a play and not score. So great accuracy there by Joe Milton, even though it was a short pass.
We're going to talk about the depth a little bit. I think this will be something we talk about all the time, but Chris and I were talking about it when he walked in. There was a time before, let's go back when Eric Gray was running the football at Tennessee. And when Eric Gray wasn't in, when he would go out, there was a drop-off like from here to there. And it was like, get him back in there. The offense has gone stagnant. And now you look at here, and there are a number of guys running the football, and then there's Joe doing this. But you feel good about no matter what number's in there.
Yeah, I think it's important to have a multiple sets of guys, right? The backfield's huge. I think Joe Milton running the ball is going to be huge for us this year as well.
I love it when he trucked that guy.
I mean, he trucked the guy and like got up and let the guy know about it. So again, that's the nastiness that we're talking about. That's the finishing that we're talking about. Guys are truly playing through everything. And when you have multiple guys and you know there's not going to be a drop-off and the defense knows there's not going to be a drop-off, it makes it that much easier to kind of put the next guy in. So these guys aren't worrying about who's getting the ball or how many times they're getting it. They're taking advantage of every single opportunity that they have. And when they have those opportunities, you get 4 touchdowns in a game.
Our guest tonight is the reason why there's no drop-off in the running game and in the passing game. Because in the running game last year, all those guys were good enough to make guys miss and go score, hit the head on the goalpost. But in the passing game, freshman Dylan Sampson had some things to learn, and he got better as the season went along. Now there's no drop-off in the running game or in the passing game because Coach Mack feels comfortable with any guy going in a passing situation.
Now, before we get to him, here's Joe throwing the football. I do have to ask you this question. I don't know if it'll cue up the timing of it or not when Joe unleashes the bomb that literally went to the moon and back, and Keaton didn't come up with it. Swain, would you have even gotten to where that ball was? I mean, were you fast enough back then? Would you have caught it?
I might have dropped hitches here and there, but I don't think I've dropped a deep ball like that.
Gotta give him credit.
Here it is. Right on cue. Right on cue.
He would have caught it.
Oh.
He would have caught it. But hey, listen, I think right here,
Chris.
yeah, you definitely would have caught it. Let's keep it real.
You're right.
But again, they were going to come back to him. We knew they were going to come back to him. They came back to him. They hit him on a couple more deep passes, but it was a pretty pass. I mean, it lasted.
He's not overthrowing people.
No, actually, Keaton had to slow down a little bit, or Milton underthrew it a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, Milton could throw it probably 30, 40 more yards easily, but Milton has improved last year. So, I mean, we were past 2021. We talked about that last week. No surprise that the pass was perfect for Keaton. And Keaton works harder than anyone on deep throws being caught. And it's unfortunate
Is that a hard ball to catch? Because
you're so open, it's like a layup in the game. You're so
what I'm
open.
saying is I've never been a wide receiver. I've never played.
But you've done a layup before.
Well, I've made a layup.
Yes,
but
it's just like that.
That's why I'm the host of the show and you guys are the experts, because I've never done that. You guys have.
Yeah, I mean,
that looks like it would be a hard ball to catch because it's so high up there, it's so far. It just seems like
it's hard because it's so easy and you're expected to catch it.
It doesn't sound easy to me.
I mean, he's worked on that thousands of times.
Thousands.
In the complex. But the difference is there's not 60,000 people in the stands. It's not, sun trying to blind you. He just lost it.
And in that moment, you know Joe's coming to you. You know that ball's coming. It's so easy. And this guy makes that catch in his sleep. That's something that he does.
I'm not dogging Keaton. I'm saying it looks like a hard ball to catch. I mean, he'll catch the next one. Okay, so here's the deal. Let's move on past that. I don't want anybody to think there's nothing negative at all here.
He'll catch the next one.
And there's nothing negative about Dylan Sampson. We're going to bring him in right now because he's the Food City Player Perspective. I want, before we go to break, Dylan, to kind of touch on the fact that the depth in the running back room, it seems like it's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, just, having that depth coming off last year, especially with Jabari and Jay Wright, and along with the young guys we got in the room, just the way we push each other, the way we work, the way Coach Mack expects us to come on that field and, be the best and not miss a beat, man. It's just real good being a part of. Like, we all have to be our best at every moment.
Dylan, talk about how last year, again, you had some struggles coming in as a freshman. How difficult was it in Coach Heupel's offense to kind of come in and you got your opportunity early, and then you kind of waited until later in the season to get another opportunity, and now you're the guy, man. I mean, obviously you're stepping in. We had 2 other backs that came back from last year, but talk about kind of the expectation and how you got through that freshman season. Now you're one of the guys that's going to contribute a lot this year.
I think just last year, the big part about it was just earning the trust of the coaches, because, I'm a freshman. I was a true freshman coming in, didn't come early. I came in the summer, picked up the offense pretty fast, but then it's just going out and operating, and, coach is not going to feel real comfortable about that every time. So, you make mistakes, you learn from that, and you lean on your brothers. So everything about that was just, growing and building and getting to the point where I am now. I took this offseason, tremendously, I had to step up. Jay Wright and Jabari were pretty much out for most of the spring, just taking a leadership role in the running back room, making myself the best I could be for this moment right here. Just like y'all said earlier, we shouldn't skip a beat when any of us are on that field. And when we turn on the tape, and that's what people are going to see, all of us working together as a unit.
I'll tell you what, we need to have Dylan out here every week. I mean, he's as good as we've had out here. We haven't even started the segment yet. We're going to take a break. We'll send Swain over there for the Food City Player Perspective coming up next on The Locker Room.
The Volunteer Club Locker Room is brought to you by Ted Russell Ford, KOC, the official orthopedic partner of University of Tennessee Athletics, Better Mattress, Commercial Bank, Pilot, and KnoxvilleSmiles.com.
Exterior Home Solutions will make one family's dream come true.
Do you know a family in need of a new roof?
Maybe it's leaking or needs repaired.
Whatever the needs may be, Exterior Home Solutions is going to give one lucky family an exterior home makeover.
To nominate a family that you think is deserving, simply go to the website at exteriorhomesolutions.com/makeover, and you can make your nomination there.
Exterior Home Solutions wants to give the gift of home to one lucky family.
At Typical Insurance, you're just another senior.
That is the 3rd health insurance commercial with seniors at a farmer's market.
Right? Don't get me wrong, I love a fresh heirloom, but it's like those companies think we're all the same.
That's why I chose Humana. Before I signed up, I spoke to someone who actually listened to what I needed. She told me about benefits that were right for me, like vision and dental, all in my budget. I finally feel in control. What are you doing?
Taking control.
Humana, a more human way to healthcare.
I'm an owner.
I am an owner.
I'm an owner. And we're locally owned.
Gray Hodges has been serving the Knoxville area with quality craft-made cabinetry for over 7 decades now. Craft-Made manufactures high-quality kitchen and bath cabinets in a wide variety of finishes with modern and traditional styles to choose from. Visit one of our 4 locations and let a Gray Hodges owner show you the perfect craft-made design to fit your needs. Gray Hodges. Employee-owned, service perfect.
Attention shoppers, don't forget to ask our certified butchers for great recipe tips.
This is an authentic butcher shop where meat is hand-cut in-store, beef is ground fresh daily, and expert advice from a certified butcher is always free of charge.
Free advice? That's what I call value. The quality I crave, the value I count on.
Nobody does food like Food City.
When you're 6'4" and 320 pounds like I am, finding a mattress is a challenge. That's why I went to Better Mattress for help. It's not about just selling big store brands. At Better Mattress, it's about making a mattress that fits the person's body type and their personal preferences. Look, After a big football game, this body is tired and sore. I have to have a mattress that helps me rest and rejuvenate. Big O and Better Mattress. Good night, just got better.
Time now for the Food City player perspective, and with that in mind. By the way, I love when Amari's spot comes on and every player in here just busts out laughing.
Gets everybody going.
And this is the fun of NIL, you know?
You see Dylan just over there just dying laughing. And this body?
Let's head over there to Jason Swain and the player of the game, Food City player perspective, guys.
4 touchdowns yesterday, Dylan, and going from your freshman year to your sophomore year, they say that's where you make your biggest improvement. In what areas do you feel like you improved? Was it more mental? Was it more physical? Or was it both?
I feel like it was a little bit of both. You know, as far as the mental side, I would take just learning the game, understanding the whys of what we do. You know what I'm saying? Last year, I was just trying to understand what I needed to do. And now I understand, like, why I needed to do what I needed to do. And physically, I feel like I developed a more mature mindset, learning how to take care of my body, come to the facility early, leave out late. Just doing what I have to do to make sure I'm ready at all times, because it's a long season, got to be able to last. But just taking a leadership role on the team, just maturing my mindset in every single aspect of my life.
What was your mindset when you saw that Tennessee signed 2 other running backs? I mean, you came in as a freshman. I'm pretty sure the guys that were older in front of you got that notice that they need to continue to work hard because you were coming. What was your reaction when you saw that Tennessee signed 2 running backs?
I think, first of all, I thought it was good. You know, like, we definitely needed depth, and my whole, like, perspective on this life and football is, like, man, you want that. You know what I'm saying? It's a constant reminder. You can't slack. You need to be on your best, because I'm not gonna lie, I always think about it. While we out here playing these games, these coaches at the end of the day are also recruiting at the same time. And they're invested in this season right now, but man, eventually one day we'll move on. Like Coach Hype always says, like, this power T gonna continue without you. So like, they always constantly trying to find somebody better than you. And my goal is to make sure that I'm always on my best. If you're competing at your best with the best, you're gonna always be your best.
That's right, that's right. Talk about your relationship between you, Jabari Small, Jalen Wright. I mean, the teams I've played on, the running backs were always super, super tight. I've noticed some teams sometimes here and there where, you know, guys kind of get envious of each other. It doesn't seem that way at all with you guys.
It's not, man, because like I said previous times, it's like, man, you never know when you need to lean on your brother. This is a long season. We play fast. We play tempo. Like, you need to lean on your brother. And like I said, we all need to compete at our best to be our best, right? You never know when, you know what I'm saying, you might need somebody to spark that. I might be the one to spark it. Jay Wright might be the one to spark it. Jabari might be the one to spark it. So, like, this offseason, I think we all took that, like, we grew closer, you know, understanding that if we want to get where we need to go, we all need to be at our best. Like, as far as us being at our best, helping Cam and Khalifa and Deshaun be at their best and learning this, man, it's just it's no selfishness, because at the end of the day, like Coach Hyper preaches, it's one team, one heartbeat, it's one mission, you know what I'm saying? Get where we need to go.
6 touchdowns last year, 4 yesterday, guys. I think he's going to break that last season's touchdown record real soon.
Yeah, the over-under was 6.5 after last year. I'm going for the over.
100% going for the over. Listen, it's good to see a guy come in, do the right things, get another opportunity, and when you get your opportunity, Dylan said it best. He took advantage of it. He got in there and he played, and now he's fighting to get in that backfield. So the young guys will see that, and it's good. It's competition's breeding competition.
We'll talk about key points for the game coming up Saturday, not keys to a victory. We're not that dumb. We'll talk about that next on The Locker Room.
The Volunteer Club Locker Room is brought to you by the Volunteer Club. Real Vol fans are members of the Volunteer Club. Matlock Tire, Gray Hodges, Humana, D1 Training, and Aqua Clear Water Systems.
At Glass Doctor, our trained specialists are experts at fixing foggy and cracked glass.
Looks great!
You're all set.
What we can't fix is your view.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your pains. Oh, yeah!
I'm Dr. Mike Costa, Malone & Costa Dentistry. You can find us at KnoxvilleSmiles.com. I'm standing here in front of a dental robot. We're one of 2 dentists in the state of Tennessee that utilize this cutting-edge technology. Do you have a broken tooth, a tooth that's in pain, or a denture that doesn't fit well? Maybe you're a little anxious? You can come in and we offer comprehensive sedation services and utilize this awesome technology to give you precise, accurate care. If you think this technology can help you, visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com. I look forward to helping you.
Knoxville is my home. I was born and raised here, and I was blessed to raise my family here. This community is one that I'm proud to live in and serve every day. At Ted Russell Ford for over 50 years, we've been Knoxville's hometown dealer. Helping our friends and neighbors own their first car or their dream car or truck has been our absolute pleasure. At Ted Russell Ford Lincoln, we will continue to serve our community because East Tennessee, you've always supported us. Thank you.
Visit us at one of our 2 locations on Parkside Drive or Kingston Pike, or online at tedrussellford.net.
Community banking is about location and much more. It's about family. We reside in your community. We are a part of your community. At Commercial Bank, our commitment extends beyond the walls of our branches. It's displayed each day in the opportunities we provide, the money we give back, and the time we commit, all to help improve the lives of the people, families, and businesses that make our communities great. Commercial Bank, life made better.
I was the star around here until Glass Doctor installed this perfect shower enclosure. Now they look at me like, well, there you go.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
So let's just say this as the Vols go inside the orange, and once again, we just kind of giving everything to this guy. I mean, enjoy it. It's not going to be this way every time. But Dylan Sampson, he's the player of the game. He's the play of the game. He's pretty well everything. Look at him. He's a rock star. Paparazzi waiting for him to sign photos. And he did great on the show tonight. Dylan Sampson, our inside the orange player of the week. Okay, so they've got Austin Peay coming up this week. It's a 5 o'clock game. There aren't keys to victory because, once again, it's another preseason game. But Chris, I guess your keys to this week, what you want to see.
You know, how do we handle our first home game? There's going to be a lot of expectations. You got Neyland Stadium renovations. You got everything being talked about. You have all this stuff. So how do we truly come home and handle what's going on against a team that we know we're supposed to play really well against? Defensively, we played really well against Virginia. Defensive front did really well. They did what they needed to do. So want to see how defense does in the second game, and then we want to see who's going to be the next Dylan Sampson.
Geez, we're already trying to replace him.
Who's going to be that next guy
next?
that steps up that we're not talking about is where I'm at.
20 seconds, Swain.
Skill position players, I want to see those guys play better and more in sync than the game one. Clean, I want to see us cleaner in the kicking game. Had a lot of mistakes there. And then defensively, it was good, but we didn't create a turnover. I want to see some turnovers.
I want to see Big O banged up where this body needs to rest and relax after the game. All right. Tennessee and Austin Peay, 5 o'clock Eastern time on Saturday at Neyland Stadium. I have a feeling it's going to be rocking. Nashville was a lot of fun. We'll see you next week right here on the Volunteer Club Locker Room, powered by Spyre Sports. This is the Players Show.